Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Random Rants with Random, with your host today, once again, Captain Lamo. So the ride's going good so far. My camera's playing up, it turns itself off. So I'm not getting much riding footage. I'll try again when I leave here. But where's here, you may ask? Here is the shack on the Walsh. Here's the kitchen. Gonna have a cup of tea soon, got the tea ready. Kettle's boiling. And what's the Walsh, you may ask? Well, the Walsh is this lovely bit of rambling H2O out here. It's a really amazing spot to come on a ride. If you want to go for a swim, dive in, whatever. Got the waterfall. I don't know if you can see it, but up on the hill there's an old water system. Across the creek here there is a house up in those trees. And on the hill there used to be a house right on the very edge of the hill. But it never got finished because a big flood came through and they realised it wasn't a good place to put it. But yeah, it would have been a good spot. Anyway, another little story just down from here that I've just crossed. But I'm sorry I couldn't film for you. There's a creek crossing. And one time when I was slowing a bit more, I got washed off the crossing, totally washed off the crossing, me and Katie, and I fell on the low side of Katie. And every time I stood up, she'd wash back over in the flood water and take me down again. And that happened 3 times, and I stayed calm. The trick is not to panic if you can. And on the 3rd time, I just took a bigger breath and I went right down to the bottom and stayed there. And this time when Katie tried to come over me, I pushed her over me so I could come back up on the high side. And then I was able to grab her and drag her out of the creek. But the tip is, you got to be very careful because a year or so before that happened, a poor young 17-year-old got washed off one of the causeways flooded out here, and the poor fella drowned. So you got to be really careful. The rocks are slippery. Like the crossing wasn't even that deep when I crossed it, but it just hit the engine casings, and as soon as it hit the engine casing, it come up and just washed me straight off. So that was the end of that ride. I had to get a mate come back in my 4-wheel drive. But Katie lived after that. So it's a very beautiful piece of North Queensland up here. And it started off being as a rainy day, but it's turning out to be amazing. I can't lie, I would have liked the rain. It keeps the dust down. So we'll go back into the shack and I'll give you a quick rundown on how Katie's going. And Katie is going a lot better than me. We've been doing some hill climbs today, and I haven't done hill climbs in a very long time. And I had to admit defeat on one, but I actually stepped up a couple of sort of semi-gnarly rock ledges to get where I got stuck. So we did quite well, old me and Katie, for our first hill climbs in probably over 5 years. But I didn't drop her. She looked after me. So how are we going so far? Big news is the hammerhead brake gear lever seems to be okay. It does stick out a lot more from the engine casings than my old one. So I've got to remember to keep, I love to keep my heels compressed into my bike. So I've got to keep my heels a little bit out to get the gear lever good. But other than that, it's going good. I can find neutral, which is normally a problem. So yeah, the hammerhead gear lever is going good. I was also concerned that it might, because it's so open, it might get sticks in there, but so far so good. The other big news that I'm super stoked about is the countershaft sprocket is not leaking. So if it's leaking, get yourself a new spring, fellas. That is the seal, the fix, the key. And some bad news, I gave my back brake a flush and a bleed, but I do have an issue with my back brake. It's got something in the return valve, and I thought this might happen when it's full. The back brake locks up and it won't let the fluid back out. So I just got to bleed it a bit and it's good to go, and it usually does it once at the start of a ride, and it's done it today. And then no matter how long I ride for the rest of the day, it doesn't happen again. So I was expecting that, but it's all good. But I do have one bummer news for the day. My Let the Good Times Roll retro seat cover. It's neoprene. It's a wetsuit material, stubby coolers. And as much as I made the stitching fit and look like it was made for the bike, as much as I made it so it's got like the speed hump that the young MX guys love so much nowadays, I got bad news. Because it was the first time I tried hill climbs in a while, I'll let the Good Times roll. Let me roll off the back of the bike. It was slippery as an oiled eel in a bucket of grease. So yeah, I wasn't too happy about that. I nearly slipped right off the back of the bike on the gnarly hill climb I got stuck on. I managed to hold on, but unfortunately I'm going to have to get a gripper seat cover. But what I will do is cut this out and stitch that into the new seat cover. Because I got this, it's an SS Commodore seat cover. Neoprene, aftermarket SS Commodore. And I got it from the buyback shop. And I made it, that's why I'm so disappointed. I just made it look like it was made for the bike. The stitching lines up and everything. And it's got that logo that I love so much. But she's too slippery, guys, and if I'm going to get fitter and start riding more again, I need a seat that's going to keep holding my big YOWIE bum. So other than that, we're going good. We've kept it rubber side down, about halfway around the ride. So yet to see if we make it all the way yet. Like I say, my camera's playing up, keeps turning off. I'll film again from here to try and get a bit more riding action. So we'll see how we go. But for now, hang on. Yous deserve it. You know I love all my viewers, like family. I'll sign out on this view. Piscatorial, isn't it? It's beautiful. Love it up here. Keep it real on the back wheel.